Coffee? It's more than just a drink. For millions of adults across the world, it's a daily ritual, a moment of peace and energy in the middle of a busy life. Maybe you start your morning with it before anyone else wakes up. Maybe it's your mid-morning pick-me-up. For some, it's a hot cup sipped slowly. For others, it's an iced version taken on the go. No matter how you enjoy it, coffee has become one of the most personal and dependable habits in modern life. But here's something few people ever stop to consider, something surprisingly important. What if the way you drink coffee, in particular, what you pair it with, is quietly working against your brain? What if it's affecting your memory? Now don't worry, this isn't a message telling you to quit coffee. In fact, many studies have shown that moderate coffee consumption may actually support brain function and alertness. It's not the coffee itself that's the issue. The real problem begins when you combine it with certain foods, common ones, that most people never question. Specifically for adults over 50, these food pairings can interfere with how your brain functions. They can dull your thinking, increase inflammation, and reduce the absorption of nutrients your memory depends on. You might be doing it every morning without even realizing the long-term consequences. In this video, we're going to talk about 3 foods you should avoid consuming with coffee if you want to protect your brain and keep your memory intact. Then, we'll cover 3 powerful food pairings that actually improve the way your body responds to coffee, enhancing your clarity, energy, and focus. So, take a seat and join me, because by the time you finish this video, you'll know how to use your daily cup of coffee to support better brain health and avoid 3 common mistakes that many people are making. Let's begin by looking at why this matters. As life progresses, it's common to notice small changes in our memory. You walk into a room and forget why. You pause mid-conversation, trying to recall the name of someone familiar. You open a drawer, stop, and think, what was I just looking for? These moments can be frustrating and sometimes a little frightening. While occasional forgetfulness is normal, these little lapses are sometimes made worse by daily habits that we don't realize are undermining our mental sharpness. One of the most overlooked habits is what we eat or drink first thing in the morning. Coffee. That's because coffee affects the central nervous system. It stimulates the brain, increases alertness, and shifts your hormonal balance even slightly. And when you pair it with foods that cause rapid blood sugar spikes, increase internal stress, or block nutrient absorption, your brain pays the price. You may not notice the effects right away, but over weeks, months, and years, the damage adds up. Let's take a look at the first food on our list: sugary pastries and refined breakfast sweets. This is one of the most common and most harmful pairings with coffee. Think about the foods most often served with coffee: muffins, croissants, cinnamon rolls, glazed donuts, toaster pastries, and sweetened cereal bars. These are everywhere, from home kitchens to coffee shops. And because they're convenient, many people grab them without thinking. But when you mix caffeine with sugar, here's what happens. Your body experiences a double stimulation. Caffeine speeds up your heart rate, increases cortisol, your stress hormone, and sharpens your senses. Sugar causes a surge in glucose, triggering insulin release and a spike in energy. But that spike doesn't last. It's followed by a sharp drop, a crash, and your brain is highly sensitive to these swings. When your blood sugar crashes, your brain's access to steady fuel disappears. You may feel shaky, irritable, forgetful, and more importantly, you may start to experience short-term memory glitches and an inability to concentrate. The hippocampus, the area of the brain responsible for memory and learning, is especially affected by unstable blood sugar. When this happens frequently, your brain begins to adapt in ways that can reduce mental clarity and focus over time. If you're starting your morning with coffee and a sugary baked good, your brain is being thrown into chaos, forced to operate on a roller coaster of chemical highs and lows. You might feel awake at first, but your memory suffers for the rest of the day. Instead, try pairing your coffee with something high in fiber and protein, foods that help regulate blood sugar and provide steady energy. A bowl of plain oatmeal with berries or whole grain toast with avocado will keep your brain steady and focused. Second, artificial sweeteners and sugar-free products. If you've switched to sugar-free creamers or artificial sweeteners thinking you're making a healthier choice, you're not alone. Many people use stevia, aspartame, sucralose, or other sugar substitutes thinking they're avoiding the downsides of sugar. But when it comes to memory and brain health, artificial sweeteners come with their own risks. Here's why. The human brain interprets sweetness as a signal that calories, energy, are coming. But when you consume artificial sweeteners, your brain gets the taste of sweetness without the nutrition to back it up. This disconnect creates confusion in the body's metabolic system. Some research suggests that artificial sweeteners may disrupt brain signaling, reduce the brain's sensitivity to sweet taste, and even interfere with learning and recall over time. When combined with caffeine, which already affects the nervous system, these sweeteners can intensify the body's stress response. You may feel wired but tired, foggy-headed or moody after consuming sugar-free coffee drinks or snacks. In addition, artificial sweeteners may also alter gut bacteria, which play a key role in brain health through the gut-brain axis. An imbalance in your gut can lead to lower production of neurotransmitters like serotonin, which help regulate mood, memory, and focus. If you enjoy flavor in your coffee, try switching to natural, brain-friendly additions. A touch of cinnamon, a dash of vanilla extract, or a small amount of raw honey can add richness without disrupting your brain's natural rhythm. Third, processed breakfast meats. Let's talk about something many people enjoy with coffee: bacon, sausage, ham, and other processed meats. These foods might seem like a satisfying addition to a hot breakfast, but they come with hidden risks, especially for the brain. Most processed meats are loaded with preservatives, including nitrates and nitrites, which extend shelf life and add flavor. However, when consumed regularly, these preservatives can contribute to oxidative stress and chronic inflammation, two major contributors to memory decline. The brain is particularly sensitive to inflammation, and when you add caffeine, which increases cortisol and can temporarily raise blood pressure, you amplify the stress on your system. Another issue is sodium. Processed meats tend to be very high in salt, which can restrict blood flow over time. Reduced circulation to the brain is linked to decreased cognitive function and a greater risk of age-related memory problems. If you're starting your day with coffee and processed meat, you may be exposing your brain to multiple stresses that reduce oxygen, increase inflammation, and interfere with long-term brain health. Swap processed meats for clean proteins. Eggs, avocado, seeds, or even a plant-based breakfast with lentils or tofu can provide protein without harmful additives. These foods also contain healthy fats and antioxidants that nourish the brain. Now that we've covered the 3 foods to avoid, let's turn our attention to foods that enhance the benefits of coffee and support better memory and concentration. You don't need to quit coffee. You just need to pair it with foods that help it do more good than harm. Let's start with a simple but powerful one. Number 1. Berries. Blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries are full of antioxidants and flavonoids, natural compounds that protect the brain from oxidative damage. They also help improve blood flow, reduce inflammation, and support the growth of new neurons. When eaten regularly, berries may improve short and long-term memory, especially in older adults. Pairing coffee with a bowl of berries is a simple, delicious way to create a brain-friendly morning. Add them to plain yogurt or oatmeal, and you have a memory-enhancing breakfast that's easy to enjoy every day. Number 2. Nuts and seeds. Walnuts, almonds, flax seeds, and pumpkin seeds are rich in healthy fats, vitamin E, and magnesium, all essential nutrients for cognitive health. Nuts help reduce oxidative stress and support the protective barrier around your brain cells. They also contain compounds that help regulate neurotransmitters responsible for learning and memory. Even a small handful of mixed nuts with your morning coffee can help stabilize your energy and sharpen your focus throughout the day. Next, number 3. Eggs. Eggs are one of the best natural sources of choline, a nutrient that helps the brain produce acetylcholine, a chemical messenger involved in memory and attention. Studies show that people with higher choline intake tend to perform better on memory tests and have stronger brain connectivity as they age. Having eggs in the morning, poached, scrambled, or hard-boiled, is one of the most efficient ways to support your brain. Combine that with a sensible cup of coffee, and you have a powerful morning ritual that fuels both body and mind. Coffee, by itself, is not the enemy, but the foods you eat with it can either help or damage your brain. If you've been starting your day with sugary pastries, artificial sweeteners, or processed meat, you may be unintentionally sabotaging your memory. But with a few small swaps, berries, nuts, eggs, and fiber-rich whole foods, your coffee can become part of a morning routine that strengthens your brain, supports your memory, and helps you feel more like yourself, not just today, but in the years to come. Have you been pairing coffee with the wrong foods? Let us know in the comments. We read every one. And if this made you think twice about your morning routine, hit like, share it with a friend, and make sure you subscribe for more smart, natural health tips.